Hello and welcome to the course of Power Transmission Engineering. In today's lecture, we are going to analyze the performance of long transmission line. In the previous class, we have studied what is the long transmission line. Long transmission line, the length of the transmission line should be greater than 200 kilometers and the operating voltage should be more than 100 kilovolts. Okay. Further, we have studied for the long transmission line, all the parameters like resistance, inductance, capacitance, all these are assumed to be distributed throughout the length of the line. They cannot be taken as the lumped parameters. So here we take the distributed parameter analysis. Okay, that means the components like inductance, resistance and capacitance are distributed throughout the length of the line. Okay, so here this is the equivalent circuit. You have the series parameters, resistance, inductance, which is Z. So it is distributed along the length of the line. So on, okay, throughout the transmission line. Here. So this can be taken as receiving end VR, receiving end current IR, and the shunt parameters, that is the capacitance and conductance, are assumed to be distributed throughout the length of the line. Okay, like this. So this is the shunt parameters, these are series parameters, and here you take the sending end current and sending end voltage. So this is how you represent a long transmission line. Here one more assumption you have to make, that is the receiving end is taken as reference. Receiving end is taken as reference for measuring the distance. Receiving end is taken as reference for measuring the distance. So here, suppose this transmission line is represented like this. This is receiving end, current and voltage. Suppose this is sending end, voltage and sending end current. Now, if you want to measure the distance at any point where the current is I and the voltage is V, you have to measure the distance of the transmission line from the receiving end. Suppose this distance is X. You have to measure from here to here, the distance is X. So receiving end is taken as reference for measuring the distance. Clear? Next. Let small z denote series impedance. Series impedance per unit length, and small y denotes shunt admittance per unit length. And let L be length of long transmission line. So Z is series impedance per unit length, Y is shunt impedance per unit length, and L is the length of transmission line. Now capital Z, it is equal to small z multiplied by length, that is impedance per unit length multiplied by length of the transmission line will give the total impedance of long transmission line. And capital Y is small y into L is the total shunt admittance of the transmission line. So this will be in ohms, this will be in mhos. So to summarize, we are doing the distributed parameter analysis for a long transmission line. All the series and shunt parameters are distributed throughout the length of the line. You cannot take them as lumped parameters. The receiving end is taken as a reference point for measuring the distance of the length of the transmission line. VR is taken as reference. Small z, small y denotes the series and shunt parameters per unit length. L is the length of transmission line. Capital Z and capital Y denotes the total series impedance and shunt admittance respectively. Okay. Now let us assume a small portion of the transmission line which is having a length of delta x. Suppose this is receiving end voltage VR, receiving end current IR. At a distance x from the receiving end, let the current is I and the voltage is V. The current is I and voltage is V. Let us assume a small differential element of the transmission line which is having a length of delta x. A small differential length delta x. Now the current through this element, this small element delta x, is delta I, and the voltage of this element is delta V. Okay, so here this is the sending end current and sending end voltage. So we are assuming a small length of the line which is having a distance of delta x. The current and voltage are given by delta V and delta I. If you draw the equivalent circuit, it will look like this. Here you have the voltage V plus delta V, that is the voltage of this element. This is delta x. Here the current is delta I. This current is I. This voltage is V. Here this current will be I plus delta I. Okay. So this is a small differential element which you are taken further from the long transmission line. So from this we will do the rigorous analysis because all the parameters are distributed and they are not lumped in the long transmission line. Okay. So we will go by the rigorous solution method. So here, so this is also not required. So from this circuit, it is clear the voltage delta V can be written as I plus delta I, that is the current flowing at this point, into the series impedance of this element, that is Z, into the length of this element, that is delta x. So this voltage delta V can be written as the current that is flowing is I plus delta I multiplied by Z multiplied by the distance delta x, because Z is impedance per unit length. And here I is very much large when compared with delta I, therefore you can neglect I plus delta and you can write delta V is equal to I into Z into delta x. or you can also write delta V upon delta X is equal to I into Z. Let us take this as equation number 1. Okay. Now, the current, small current through the differential element delta I can be taken as V into delta X, or V into small y into delta X. Okay. So here we can rewrite it, delta I upon delta X is equal to V into Y. So let us take this as equation number 2. Is it clear? So this is equation number 1 and this is equation number 2. So now you take for small value of delta X. That is, we are taking delta X is very small, delta X will tend to 0, and equation 1 and equation 2 can be rewritten as dV by dx is equal to I into Z, and di by dx can be written as V into Y. Because delta X is very small, you can write delta I by delta X is equal to di by dx, and delta V by delta X can be written as dV by dx. So these are same as equation number 1 and equation number 2. Just we have rewritten the differential equations. Okay? Clear? Fine. Now, what you have to do is you have to differentiate equation 2, equation 1 with respect to x. So, differentiating equation number 1 with respect to x. So, if we do this, what you will get? D square V by dx square will be equal to, z is the parameter which is anyway constant for a given line. Therefore, you will get di by dx into z. But from equation 2, di by dx is v into y. So you substitute in this equation. From equation 2, you can write it as d square v by dx square is equal to v into y into z. Is this clear? Now, this equation is in the form of d square y by dx square is equal to some function of x into y. D square y by dx square is equal to some function of x into y. So the solution of this equation, so let us take the number for this equation. This is equation number 3. The solution of this equation will be in the form of v is equal to some constant a into e power gamma x plus another constant b into e power minus gamma into x. So this will be the solution of equation number 3. So solution of equation 3. Now here what is gamma? Gamma is called a propagation constant. It is a complex number. It is given by alpha plus j beta. Gamma is equal to alpha plus j beta. It is a complex number. We will study in the traveling waves in detail about gamma. Gamma is called propagation constant. Alpha is called attenuation constant. Beta is called phase constant or phase angle constant. So it is measured usually in radians per unit length. Okay. Gamma is equal to alpha plus j, it is a complex quantity and it is given by the formula square root of y into z. Square root of y into z. Gamma is given by square root of y into z. What is y? Y is admittance, shunt admittance per unit length. Small z is series impedance per unit length. Square root of y into z is nothing but gamma. Gamma is called as the propagation constant. Now we have to find out what is the value of A and what is the value of B in this particular solution, that is equation number, let us take it as equation number 4. So in this equation number 4, we have to find out the unknowns, that is B and constant A. For that we use the boundary conditions. The boundary conditions are, using the boundary conditions, at x is equal to 0, that is at the receiving end. X is equal to 0 means we are measuring the distance x from the receiving end. At receiving end, x is equal to 0. What is the voltage at receiving end? The voltage V is equal to receiving end voltage VR and the current I is equal to the receiving end current IR. Clear? So you substitute these conditions in equation number 4 to find out what is the unknown A and B. So here V is, what is V? V is VR is equal to A into e power 0. What is e power 0? A into e power 0, e power 0 is 1. So A into 1 is A plus B into e power 0, that is A plus B. Similarly, you want the value of I. For that, what you have to do is you differentiate equation number 4 with respect to x. So dv by dx, differentiating equation number 4 with respect to x, we can see that v by dx is equal to A into, what is e power, differential of e power gamma x? Gamma into e power x. So it is gamma into e power x plus B into e power minus gamma x. What is differential of e power minus gamma x? Minus gamma into e power gamma x. So B minus B gamma e power minus gamma x. Okay, but you see the equation number 2, equation number 1. What is equation number 1? dv by dx is equal to I into z. So you write down this equation must be same as I into z and equate it to equation number 1. You will get this equation. From here you can write I is equal to A upon z, small z, into gamma e power gamma x minus B into gamma e power minus gamma x by z. Okay. So now you substitute. This, what you will get? You substitute the boundary conditions. At x is equal to 0, V is equal to VR, I is equal to IR. So you will get IR is equal to A by Z. Gamma is square root of yz. See here, gamma is square root of yz here. Gamma is propagation constant, is square root of yz. Okay. Now, e power gamma x minus b upon z, gamma into e power x is 0, therefore this will be reduced, z into gamma, that is you will get a 1 by z into gamma. If you take out common, you will have a minus. Clear? Now here, gamma, we know gamma is nothing but square root of y into z upon z into a minus b. So this can be written as IR is equal to 1 by capital ZC into a minus b. Clear? So this is one equation, and VR is equal to a plus b. This is another equation. Let us give the numbers. This is equation number 5, and this is equation number 6. Here ZC is equal to square root of z by y. ZC is equal to square root of z by y. It is called characteristic impedance. It is called characteristic impedance. Clear? It is independent of the length of the line. The characteristic impedance is independent of the length of the line. For the overhead transmission line, the characteristic impedance is approximately 400 ohms, and for the underground cable, the characteristic impedance is nearly equal to 40 ohms. Therefore, it is independent of the length of the transmission line. For overhead transmission line, it is 400 ohms, and for underground cables, it is approximately equal to 40 ohms. It is independent of the length of the transmission line. So see here, we have started doing the regress analysis. We have taken a differential element of length delta x. From that we find out what is delta v and delta I, and then for small lengths we have taken the differential equations dv by dx, di by dx, and we got equation number 1 and equation number 2. Then we differentiate equation number 1 with respect to x. We got this equation. In this equation we substituted the value of di by dx from equation 2. We got the generalized solution of the differential equation, the second order differential equation, and then from that we defined what is the propagation constant, and we found out what unknowns a and b using the boundary conditions, that is at x is equal to 0, the reference, the receiving end voltage and receiving end current values are substituted, and we got equation number 5 and we got equation number 6. In equation number 6, ZC is called the characteristic impedance, which is independent of the length of the line. Now using equation 5 and equation 6, we have to find out what is the value of A and what is the value of B. So from equation 5, you can write VR is equal to A plus B, and from equation 6, IR is equal to 1 by ZC into A minus B. You add equation 5 and equation 6, you will get A is equal to VR plus IR into ZC upon 2. And you will get B is equal to, you subtract equation 6 from equation 5, that is equation 5 minus equation 6, you will get B is equal to VR minus IR into ZC upon 2. So this is the value of A and this is the value of B. Now you got A and B, you have to substitute the value of A and value of B in equation number 4. What is equation number 4? It is the general solution of the second order differential equation. Therefore, V is equal to A e power gamma x plus B e power minus gamma x. So here you are going to substitute this. So V is equal to A, that is VR plus IR ZC upon 2 into e to the power gamma x plus VR minus IR ZC upon 2 into e to the power of minus gamma x. Is this clear? Okay. Now you rearrange the terms as that the coefficients of VR and coefficients of IR are taken common. So you will get VR into e power gamma x plus e power minus gamma x upon 2. Similarly, you take the coefficients of IR outside and you check it. So you will get ZC into IR e power gamma x minus e power minus gamma x upon 2. What is e power gamma x plus e power minus gamma x by 2? It is a hyperbolic function cos h of gamma x. Therefore, V is equal to VR into cos h of gamma x plus ZC into IR sin h of gamma x. So this is one important equation. Erasing all this. Okay, so let us take this as equation number 7. This is equation number 7. Similarly, you substitute the value of A and B in the equation number 6. Sorry, equation number this equation is substituted to get the value of I. Okay, so I is equal to dV by dx, right? I is equal to 1 by ZC A e power gamma x minus B e power minus gamma x. So you get 1 by ZC. What is A? A is VR plus IR ZC by 2 into e power gamma x plus minus B e power minus gamma x. So it is minus B. What is B? VR minus IR ZC by 2 into e power minus gamma x. So what do you get? I is equal to, you take out all the coefficients of VR outside, so you will get 1 upon ZC e power gamma x minus e power minus gamma x, because this here is minus is there, upon 2 into VR. This is the coefficient of VR, plus you take the coefficients of IR. What you will get? IR coefficients. Here IR coefficient is e power gamma x by 2, and ZC will cancel. So e power gamma x plus e power minus gamma x upon. So from this equation, you take out the coefficients of VR and coefficients of IR. So finally you will get equation I is equal to 1 upon ZC VR into cos h of gamma x, because e power gamma x, so this is sin h of gamma x, because e power gamma x minus e power minus gamma x by 2 is sin hyperbolic of gamma x, plus IR e power gamma x plus e power minus gamma x by 2 is cos h of gamma x. Okay. So this we take it as equation number 8. So this is equation number 8. Okay. So this equation I is equal to 1 by ZC A e power gamma x minus VR, this is B into e power minus gamma x. You will get this equation by differentiating this with respect to x. The differentiating equation, find the voltage equation with respect to x, and substituting the value of gamma, you will get this equation. Okay. So you have two equations, equation number 7 and equation number 8. Now you substitute the boundary conditions. The boundary conditions is at x is equal to L, that is the full length of the transmission line. At x is equal to L, this is x is equal to 0 from the receiving end. This is the receiving end current. Here, what is the voltage? The voltage is sending end voltage. The current is sending end current. So these boundary conditions you substitute in equation 7 and equation 8 and you will get the final equations. So Vs is equal to Vr into cos h of, what is x? X is L. Okay, plus Zc sin h of gamma L into IR. So let us take this as equation number 9. Similarly, you substitute in equation number 8 boundary conditions. I is equal to Is, that is equal to 1 upon Zc sin h of gamma L into Vr plus cos h of gamma L into IR. So take this as equation number 10. Now, in these equations, you compare these equations with the ABCD parameter equations of the sending end and receiving end. So what you will get? Vs is equal to A into IR, sorry, A into VR plus B into IR, and Is is equal to CVR plus DIR. So here we will get A is equal to D is equal to cos h of gamma L and C is equal to B is equal to Zc sin h of gamma L and C is equal to 1 upon Zc sin h of gamma L. So here the two port parameter conditions must be satisfied. AD minus BC modulus is equal to 1, that is the determinant of this matrix will be 1, and the coefficient CA must be equal to D. So this is the method to analyze the performance of a long transmission line. Now here you see these parameters, they are having hyperbolic function of complex numbers. What is gamma? Gamma is equal to alpha plus j beta. So this is complex number. So here if you want to derive or analyze these parameters, ABCD parameters, the evaluation is time taking. That is, it is very lengthy. Okay. So here we will see some methods how to determine these ABCD parameters. There are various methods like real angle method, convergent series method, exponential series method. But however, all these methods are time taking and they will not give the convergent solution quickly. So we will go for one method called as Maclaurin series method. In the Maclaurin series expansion, we know that cos h of x or cos h of gamma L. Let us take gamma L. So the formulas for this, how do you write sin h of gamma L? You will write it as gamma L plus gamma L whole cube by 3 factorial plus gamma L whole power 5 by 5 factorial and so on. Like this you can expand. You can keep on expanding like this, but up to 3 terms it is sufficient to get accurate results, and beyond that, even though you expand, you get the same result. Okay. Similarly, cos h of gamma L. What is the formula? What is the formula of cos h of gamma L? So it is 1 plus gamma L whole square by 2 factorial plus gamma L whole power 4 by 4 factorial and so on. So we will use these expansions to derive the coefficients A, B, C and D. Okay. So here we have the equations Vs is equal to AVR plus B into IR and IS is equal to CVR plus D into IR, where ABCD are given here. Okay. So here sin h of gamma L. What is sin h of gamma L? Gamma L plus gamma L, so on. So here what is gamma L? We know square root of y into z is gamma into L. Okay. So what is square root of yz into L? You can write it as square root of yl into zl. That is nothing but capital Y into capital Z. These are total admittance and total impedance. So here gamma L can be written as equal to square root of yz. If you take it out common, what you will have? 1 plus yz root, that is, so yz square, that is yz by 6, 3 factorial is 6 plus yz whole square by 5 factorial is 120 plus so on. Similarly, cos h of gamma L, you can write it as, okay, 1 plus, what is gamma L whole square? Yz by 2 plus yz by 24 whole square plus so on. Okay. So you can take up to 2 or 3 terms to get accurate result. No need to calculate all the total results. So you substitute sin h value here. You know what is ZC? ZC is nothing but square root of z by y. Or small z by small y, it is independent of length. You can take total impedance and admittance. Let us see A, for example. What is A? A is cos h of gamma L. So directly you will get what is cos h of gamma L, 1 plus yz by 2 plus yz by 24 and so on, which is same as B. Suppose you want B. What is B? B is equal to ZC into sin HL. What is sin HL? ZC into root yz into 1 plus yz by 6 plus yz by 120 whole square and so on like this. What is ZC? Square root of z by y into square root of yz, which is nothing but z into 1 plus yz by 6 plus yz by 120 whole square and so on. So this will cancel here, root y, root z into root z will give z into this. Similarly, you can calculate what is C. So this Maclaurin series method is used to evaluate the parameters A, B, C, D, and this series will be helpful. This expansion will be helpful in solving the numericals related to long transmission line. So to summarize, today we have seen how to analyze the performance of a long transmission line using the regress solution methods and find out the parameters of A, B and C, D using the analytical method and expansion using the Maclaurin series. In the next class, we will do numericals related to this. Thank you.